Good morning, everyone. Functional medicine to help with the immune system is the topic we're going to discuss with Dr. Ashwani today. Dr. Ashwani Garg is a physician who has been trained in functional medicine. In fact, all of us are trying to figure out how to improve our immunity during COVID times. Dr. Ashwani believes in identifying the underlying root causes and solving it with the right nutrition. He believes that the right nutrition can prevent, treat, and reverse chronic conditions. I am Amita from NourishDoc, a global platform to educate all of you the underlying success cases for holistic and natural therapies. I'd like to introduce all of you to Dr. Ashwani, who is joining us from India right now. Welcome, Dr. Ashwani.
Thank you, Amita. Thank you for having me on your show.
Okay, so let's just get started now.
Sure. I think today, I mean, though people are settling with this COVID infection, but still it's a hot topic. So it's important that we understand how it is, doing a damage to us, and what are the things that we can do to make sure that we are protected from. Even if we get infected, how do we recover quickly? So just quickly, how this viral infection plays out, and what are the different things that are happening within our system. So as per the data, now we clearly know only 80% of the people who get infected will only have a mild infection to it, or mild symptoms to it, which can be just recovered without doing nothing. Only maybe 50% of the cases where the symptoms can be moderate, and 5% may be severely affected that need hospitalization and all that. Now, it is very important that these hospitalizations are happening in people who are either elderly, who have obesity, or any other comorbidity like cancer, stroke, diabetes, hypertension, and all that. So all these people having a comorbidity will have a compromised immune system. So that put us into the risk of having a severe reaction to this COVID infection. So if we make sure that we get a healthy immune system, we can also make sure that we don't get a harsh reaction from this COVID virus. So a healthy body has a pretty robust immune system. So to get a right immune system, we have to have a healthy body. So it is not the infection from the virus which is doing a damage, it's actually the overreaction of the immune system which is doing a damage to us. So we need to make sure that we get an immune system which is well balanced, which is not overreactive and underreactive. Okay, so we see that constantly we are making this immune system. We keep getting new immune cells from the bone marrow to the bloodstream. Now these cells has to be trained to function the way they are functioning. So this is called modulation. So if immune system is working not against us but to protect us, or to work against the outside invaders, it is important that there has to be right training to the immune system. So gut microbiota, which is the good bacteria in our gut, these are the guys who train the immune system. So we need to have the right gut function to make sure that we have the right balanced immune system. Now, to make sure that we have the right gut microbiota, first we have to understand what are the different things which impact this gut microbiota. What are the things which do a damage to this gut microbiota? Now, one, of course, this thing is called antibiotics. Now, antibiotics are antibacterial. These antibiotics don't know what is good bacteria, what's the bad bacteria. They end up doing a damage to all of the strains of the bacteria. And ultimately, what happens, good becomes less and more becomes bad becomes more. And this creates a condition called dysbiosis, leading to a poor immune system at the same time. If we take a lot of refined carbs, if we take a lot of sugars into our diet, that feeds the bad bacteria, that feeds the bad fungus, which can impact the immune system. If we take a lot of sugars, and that's also another problem. Stress is another problem which can impact our gut microbiota. Pesticides in the food is another problem. Hybrid food can also impact the gut microbiota. Again, the packaged food is another which is added, which is coming with so many preservatives also can impact. So first of all, we have to stop the damage which is happening to the gut microbiota. For that, we should take antibiotics only when they are necessary. And making a dietary modification is must to make sure that we have a right immune system and of course a healthy body. Now, next is once we stop the damage which is happening by changing the diet, ensuring that we are eating the organic meat, we are making sure that we are eating the organic produce so that we don't get unwanted pesticides, we don't get unwanted processed things into our food. Next, in how do we grow this microbiota or this gut microbiome so that we can build a right immune system? What are different things we can do? The one thing for sure is a rainbow diet. If we take different colored vegetables and fruits into our diet, we feed a variety of microbiome into our system. That eventually the diversity and the quality of this microbiome will increase, and ultimately our immune system will get better. Next thing is also how do we cook the food? If we do microwave, that damages a lot of good things into the food. If we do boiling, that is also good, but it does the damage. So steaming is the best way to cook our food. Of course, depending on the what sort of food is cooking, we can choose the way. But sometimes high pressure or high heat can do a lot of damage, and we don't get the nutrition out of the food. So one thing is the prebiotics, which means these are the fibers which feed in the good bacteria. Now, to have the good bacteria, we have the food for the good bacteria. So what are the different foods which in the form of prebiotics we can include into our diet, make sure that our microbiome is healthy and happy, and ultimately we have a good immune system. So sweet potatoes, cabbage, dandelion greens, garlic, spring onions, beetroot, asparagus, green pea, sweet corn, banana, especially raw bananas, apple, watermelon, grapes, custard apple, peach, cocoa. So these are some of the easy peasy things which are readily available to us, and we can make sure that one or other form we include these prebiotics into our food to make sure that we are feeding the right bacteria and making sure that we are increasing diversity of this microbiota into our gut. Along with this prebiotics, we also should ensure that we are also taking probiotics. Probiotics means those foods which contain this good strains of bacteria. So how do we get that, or what are the different forms? Homemade pickles, fermented vegetables like sauerkraut and kimchi. Buttermilk is a easy peasy. Curd is a easy peasy thing. Kombucha and kefir is another nowadays readily available the product which is there. So to make sure that first we avoid the bad things which can do a damage to our gut microbiome, then we start including prebiotic foods. Along with that, we also include the probiotic foods to make sure that we have the right diversity and right quantity of the right microbiome. Now, along with this gut microbiota, it is also important that our body should have enough nutrition. So we are constantly remaking ourselves, right? Old cells are dying off and new cells are coming up. So for the new cells to be healthy and to be doing the right function, our body should have the enough raw materials in the form of macro and micronutrients. So here's a list of some micronutrients that are required to make sure that we have the right immune system. Vitamin E is very important. Vitamin A, very important for our immune system. Vitamin C, critical, especially in case of acute infection. Vitamin C can play a major role. Of course, a B complex, which includes B6, B12, B9 folate, that is also very important to have the right immune system. And of course, vitamin D. Now, today we don't expose ourselves enough to the sun, and vitamin D is critical to have our immune system. Like it should be a well balanced immune system. It is not overreactive or underreactive. It is able to detect if a foreign invasion happen or it is not doing a self damage. For that to happen, vitamin D plays a major role. So if we don't expose ourselves enough to the sun, we don't get vitamin D. This is where the problem comes in. So we need to make sure that we have enough of micronutrients in the form of all this thing. And luckily today, we can simply do a small blood test and we can get to know whether these things are there in sufficient amount into our body or in the blood. And if it is not there, we under supervision of a doctor, we can always supplement these things and make sure that we get out of the problem. Now, along with this vitamins, some few minerals are also important, like zinc is a one critical part. Uh, then enough proteins are also required. Now, when we are making new cells, a new cell, they communicate through their cell walls. Cell walls are made of lipoproteins, lipids and proteins. Now, to have the right communication, we have to have a right cell wall. Right cell wall needs the right proteins and right lipids in the body. So it's also important that we have the right proteins into the body and right healthy fats also. We should ensure that we take enough fats into a diet to have the right immune system. Along with that, this one critical, especially when it comes to viral infection, selenium is antiviral. It plays a major role again in the immune system. And when we have the right immune system, we can make sure that, even we get infected, we don't have the severe form of the infection and we recover quickly. So macro and micronutrients, which is right proteins, right fats, along with that minerals and vitamins. If we don't know how much to be taken and how much, whether we have enough or not, we simply do a quick blood test and get to know about it. Now, it is also very important that to have the enough raw material into our body, we have to have a right digestion, right? If we don't have the right digestive tract, even we are eating the healthiest foods, those foods might not become a part of our system because we are not able to break down these foods, or we are not able to assimilate these foods into our body. So what are the conditions to have a right healthy digestion? Right microbiome, right amount of gastric acids or digestive juices, and enough pancreatic juices and bile juices, right? So every part of the digestive system has to be functioning well to make sure that whatever food we are taking is becoming part of our body. Now, if that does not happen, we get on to malnutrition, and malnutrition ultimately can weaken our immune system. So make sure that our digestion is good. Now, one more thing which disrupts our immune system is the heavy metals. Today, we live in a toxic environment. The food is contaminated, the air is contaminated, the water is contaminated, and then the things that we are ingesting is contaminated. So we need to really come out of this toxin loaded environment. And some of the critical things which really do a lot of damage to our immune system is aluminium. Sometimes nowadays, in India especially, we are cooking the food in aluminium vessels, and this is a very poisonous metal, and then we keep consuming invariably this lot of aluminium into our diet. Then arsenic, then mercury, lead, strontium, these are some of the things when they are high in amount, they can also do a lot of damage. So to have the right immune system, we need to make sure that we detox our system. Even sometimes we cannot change our environment. It's very difficult the way we live today. So we need to make sure that we are able to at least take them out of the system. For that, we need to have enough nutrition or antioxidants, or uh, enough of things which can neutralize this free radicals, so that this all detoxification can happen, or liver is functioning to the fullest, or our gut microbiome also plays a major role in detoxification. So if our gut is healthy, we can also make sure that even these things, if they come to our system, they can be taken out of the system. So if we detox our system and we nourish our system, right, we can get a healthy body. We lose the fat, we make sure that the infections don't come. Even they come, we recover quickly. If we do detoxification, we'll have a regular bowel movements. We also get the mental clarity. Along with that, today when we are at home, we tend to fall into more sadness or depression. But if we make sure that we detox our system, we do enough nourishment for ourselves, even depression and mental instability can be taken care. So these are the fundamental things that we should be doing for ourselves at least. So here I put together a few things that, of course, this should be done in doctor's recommendations, but typically we don't we don't go under the sun. We have our air conditioned cars, air conditioned homes, air conditioned offices. we go to the parking, we sit in the car and then go to office. We don't hardly expose ourselves to sun. Most of the people that we see into our practice today, everybody is low on vitamin D. So maybe 5,000 international units per day, it's good enough. And of course, if we have to protect ourselves, this is a protocol to protect for the protection. So we take enough vitamin D, enough vitamin C, along with that maybe an acetylcysteine and omega-3. Drink 2 to 4 cups of green tea, and make sure that from the food or supplementation we take enough of probiotic and prebiotics. So if we do that, largely we will be protected from getting infected, or even if it comes, it is not doing a damage to us. And if anybody got infected and the severity is high, here's a list of few things that maybe in a higher dose of this supplements or the nourishment. So if we do that, recovery will be faster. So vitamin C in a higher dose, magnesium, vitamin D in a higher dose, zinc, selenium. So these are the things which are, they're supporting the immune system. They're supporting the detoxification. They're supporting antiviral activities in the body, right? So even if any damage is being done to the body by the lot of overreactive immune system, then enough vitamin A also comes in handy to recover us quickly. So this is the protocol if anybody having a acute viral infection. So I think this is quickly we have given you some of the tips that we can do at home. So keeping healthy body is not really difficult. Learning about sickness care is much more difficult than learning about how to stay healthy. Very simple tricks. If we do that, we can stay healthy. And of course, our body is smart enough to stay, to keep itself healthy. Only that we have to give the body right conditions so that it can maintain the health. And this we as a human race, we are here for a much longer time on this earth, and our genes know how to stay healthy. It's only that we have to give the body or the genes right environment. So guys, I think this is all from me. Amita.
Great. We're open for questions if anyone has a question. And we've written our email as well. So if there are any questions from Zoom, so you're welcome to put it in the chat window or ask a question right now. And these are only educational sessions. I didn't say that in the beginning. Please don't take it, as a medical advice. If there are any issues that you have, you need to contact your physician. We are just trying to educate on a general level. So
absolutely, I think it's a valid point, because symptoms can be similar in different individuals, but the cause can be different. So
yeah.
This is not the one fit for all. So every individual will need a very personalized approach to treat the disease, or to make sure that they become healthy. But in general sense, this applies to all as well.
So one of the things that I want to bring up, and we talked to a lot of functional medicine doctors here, and in functional medicine is quite, I wouldn't say everyone knows about it, but it's gaining momentum in United States at least. and they also, there are a lot of tests that they do. So that's fine, but then there's a whole question that comes on the quality of the supplements that we are supposed to take. If the supplements are actually giving us some of the nutrients, some of the, that you talked about, the zinc and the selenium and so many other things that you talked about. So if that's the right approach to go, or you put your diet to incorporate all that. So how do you balance the two is my question.
Right. So here in India, I think what we do is, first level is we do a correction of the diet. We modify the diet. Then we do a thorough blood testing. We figure out what are the deficiencies. Now, if there are very deep deficiencies are there, then we make use of the supplement. Of course, high quality supplements, till the point their nourishment levels are improving. But this is not done in all the cases. It's patient to patient, it varies. And first thing, see, supplements are only to support. They're not the solution by itself. So first we have to make sure that they are changing the diet which is doing the damage. Now only what's after that first step is achieved, then we move on to supplements.
Okay. And then through the lab test that typically everyone does that here as well, you will try to figure out the deficiencies, and then you will prescribe. What I'm trying to say is you prescribe food in your prescription that eat more beetroot, for example, or eat this or that. That's kind of how it goes?
Absolutely, absolutely. So we make sure that we give them the diet which has all the needed ingredients. Now, in some cases, if their digestion is not healthy, and
Yeah.
which is typically the case in most of the people, right? They're bloated, they're constipated, they have gastritis, or this is something called GERD and all that. Now, in these cases, even if we feed them the right foods, they might not be able to make the use of these foods because they're not able to assimilate and digest these things. Then we have to make sure that we use supplementation to correct the problem. Now, once the problem is corrected, the digestion is improved, then slowly we wean off these supplements.
Okay. So you also talked about detoxification in one of your slides. What do you recommend to detoxify ourselves, let's say?
Right. So first thing, I think, and typically what we do is, you know, in India, this amla and curry leaves. It's a fantastic.
Amla is, by the way, Indian gooseberry, which is readily available in everywhere in the world, for that matter. Yes.
Yes, yes. So amla and curry leaf blend. So typically, all our patients, we give them amla and curry leaf, fresh amla, fresh curry leaves. Curry leaves is also called a meetha neem. So
Yeah.
it's quite a powerful detoxifying agent. Along that, we can make use of the aloe vera. We can use certain herbs, and of course, the diet is such that we reduce the load on the body. So once the body is liberated from the load, it easily start recovering by itself.
So someone is asking a question about, can you type it? I just want to make sure that, it's, by the way, it's readily available, in US. It's called Indian gooseberry. I think you can buy it from Whole Foods. And the neem, how do you say it? Curry leaves in English. Curry leaves are curry leaves. Neem, it's, what is the English name for neem? Neem is, I can check it right now. But I know that Indian gooseberry, I'm not sure if it's available in Whole Foods, but it's available. Yes, you can go to an international store. Absolutely. I was going to say that if wherever you are, wherever you're joining, I typically go to some of these in English. I don't know what it's called. It's called neem in English name. Oh yeah, it is. Let me just type it up for you. English name for neem.
So neem is actually very bitter, which is again very good for immune system as well. But the curry leaves is a sweeter version of neem.
So I see.
So
you'll grind it together. You'll grind it together.
Yes. So I can quickly give the recipe to make this drink. Maybe we take 1 liter of water and maybe 5 to 6 gooseberries and a handful of curry leaves.
Okay, so gooseberry.
5 to 6 gooseberries.
5 to 6. Okay.
And a handful of curry leaves.
Okay.
We blend in 1 liter of water.
Okay.
We filter it and add salt to the taste. Of course, Himalayan salt or a pink salt.
Okay. Himalayan salt. Yeah, I think everybody knows about those right now.
So the taste is quite strong. So I mean, people has to be careful when they're doing it, because for US people, it's maybe they're doing it for first time. But in India, we are used to this gooseberries and all that, so we don't find this is very strange. But people get adjusted to it, and it does is it helps your liver, it helps your skin, it helps your hairs, it helps your immunity, it cleanses your gut, very importantly.
Wow.
If anybody is constipated, it'll help them ease out the constipation.
Well, you've given a recipe for $1 million formula here, Dr. Ashwani.
So something very readily available in India, yes.
No, so here, and if you go to Trader Joe's or Whole Foods or any of these natural food markets, there are those shots.
Right.
So you can buy these turmeric shots, but
Right.
I don't think I've seen these shots. At least I haven't seen it. They might be available, but I don't think I've seen this shots being sold. Any other questions or comment, please? We are open for questions here. Should we wrap it up? I see people in Zoom. And any other comment or feedback? You want to give us any feedback before I wrap up? Okay, so that's fine. We are, anything else you want to add before I wrap up?
I think it's a great way of teaching people that it's not that we have to stay diseased. In today, especially in India, of course, US things are getting better. We are made to believe that once a disease comes, especially diabetes or hypertension or any other chronic problem, we have to live with a disease. We are told that this is the way it is, we have to live. But fortunately today we have enough information, we have enough evidence that most of the chronic conditions can be treated, can be prevented, can be reversed. We don't have to live with a disease.
No, I think the education is the key. A lot of people don't know about it. So more and more people are understanding, now you see people going to better nutrition, even McDonald's or some of these fast foods, they have vegan burgers or vegetarian things, so things have definitely improved a lot in the last few years, but there's a lot more education that needs to happen. With that thought, if there are no more questions, I'm going to wrap up this session. Thank you so much for joining us, Dr. Ashwani, and thank you viewers for watching us. Please feel free to give us any feedback on our sessions, what you'd like to see. Let us know and help us share these sessions to other people. With that, thank you so much. Have a great Sunday. Thank you, Dr. Ashwani.